Hi guys, welcome to Newcastle. Not looking brilliant. Well, it's been raining all day. Anyway, you're here to have a look at the Dunster House Squirrel Fort. I think Mark II version 2, whatever they're going to classify it as, but it's the new design that seems to be coming out. It's the second or third Dunster that we've done in the last week, I think, too. That all seems to be coming out differently. The Squirrel Fort used to have a lower deck, I think, maybe the same sort of size. And it used to have a little canvas up and over roof. No cabin, no supports. Dunster's really done well for themselves to suddenly start coming up with new designs and building it kind of a lot stronger than they used to be. So that there must have been some issues over the last few years where they're coming back to bite now. So the normal Squirrel Fort just had a diagonal brace. This one's got full cabin. For some reason this cabin screws to the legs, both down here. They've upgraded these, so now they're built a lot like our custom ones, which we put supports in between the middle here. We actually just use we use that as the internal support, let alone the actual external, but the wood is obviously going to be slightly different size from the custom to this. So again, we do that because it makes it a lot stronger, so it actually squares it up. So when this wood goes in the middle, it has to be that size to fit, whereas Dunster used to just literally clad it across. Using this same cladding, used to then go across to, if legs were wonky or the playset wasn't completely square, you could still keep building it, which sometimes is good, sometimes is bad. They've also changed around their swing. Bolts in every direction. It's a bit of a pain to get them all in, but once they're in, it's all good. This is what I've been saying a Wiki should be doing for ages. Wiki has really thin bits of wood, like half the size of this, and then what they do is they put one bolt up the bottom that pulls the legs tight. Never knew. It's not even a bolt, sorry, it's a lag screw. So when that screw comes loose, the swings start rocking and it goes knocking, basically. I've concreted this, which is why I said left a little bit like a mess. What the customer can do is basically just get this mud, kick it back in the hole, and then go from there. So this is bolted twice through in both directions, and then capped off. Again, this has got a cross brace across the top, another 4x4, bolted through in every direction, and then bolted through to the other side as well, so it keeps the tower nice and square. This is great. Apart from sometimes when the gardens weren't level, what I used to do is move this down and then kick it in and basically screw it in like lower. So obviously the swing, if the ground was level, like unlevel that way direction, the swing beam you could make level and join lower on the tower. And they've kind of, I've not been listening to me because I'm nobody, but I've always said, why are people joining the swings to a vertical tower leg without a support? This year, Dunster House is smashing through that problem, and they've put an angle support to make more of an A-frame. And then what they've also done is the ladder, you can't see from this direction, underneath is actually kinked in and actually cuts in underneath, so it actually now builds an A-frame on both sides. Well done, Dunster. And then there's just a few bits that are just like a bit questionable. So there's meant to be a barrier up here. It's just literally a couple of screws. And then there's lots of other bits and pieces. So, for example, down here, what's the best side to show you? Where you've got the peg, for example, it goes through. On the other side of this tower, however, there's already holes. There's holes drilled all over the place. So I think these legs are going to be used for like multiple different things. And there's holes all the way up here. They do come with wooden lugs, but hitting the lugs in is a proper little pain. Doesn't really do anything for the frame. I spoke to her and she doesn't seem to care about it too much. Like, it's going to just, you'll see them there anyway. I don't think it's going to affect it. It's actually ruining the wood more trying to get them in than it was to leave it. But there's holes all over the place. So God knows what Dunster's going to do with all these pre-drilled holes, pre-drilled legs, pre-drilled bits. But congratulations, it's certainly a lot stronger. Support underneath here, support inside there. big bit of 4x4, 4x4 swing, proper made timber. Then there's just a few bits and pieces that aren't there. I need to screw this in, I'm on route to do it. But basically, this bit of timber matches down there. Doesn't quite match on there, whereas the front one is perfect. The two side panels seem to be a little bit off. But it's all good. It's a lot stronger than they used to be. Don't know what the price difference is. Completely different unit, called exactly the same as what the old one was, so it's a bit of a shock when I started booking them all in. When people keep phoning up saying a balcony max, I always thought it was either a maxi fort or a balcony fort, and they were just getting the names wrong. And then I turned up to them and then realised that it's a day's worth of work. Every single bit of this, guys, is flat packed. So even though the legs come with 15 million holes drilled in them for no reason, you have to use 5 of them, and the swing bits are drilled out. Every other bit of wood has to get drilled out. So if you're not smashing little pre-driller holes along all these bits of wood, they start to crack. I was stood in there earlier, and it's like the wood has already started to move off, and because you have to put these panels in, it just looks a little bit weird. Why clad, then fence panel? Why not just have a fence panel on that side as well to make it at least look right? It's just a bit bizarre, but you know, people in offices are making decisions. I'm going to then start to pack up, get ready. I hope you've enjoyed this little review. You can see the thickness of the wood. There's my dirty finger. Hang on if I line it up, so it's less than my finger, so I don't know if they've shaved another millimetre or 2 off that. This one does come seemingly with wheel, telescope and handles, which used to be part of their extra pack. They seem to be giving away more for the same amount of cash, which is always a good thing for a consumer, but install now takes an extra, I don't know, half hour to an hour. Have to build the roof, have to build the floor, have to build like a few other bits, and everything's getting pre-drilled. So these panels, when you used to put this cladding in, you used to just be able to tap this in quite quick. Bang, 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 screws all the way. Now you're doing these, you have to pre-drill it all, otherwise it starts splitting. So obviously more fence panels you've got on it, even if it's a smaller tower, longer it takes, more the install's going to be. It's only just fitted in this garden as well. I don't know if you can see that fence behind. This is a perfect example of, is my garden flat? Well, if you're looking through at a brick wall, look at the fence, and if the fence is tangling away, so my phone is on 0 degrees up there in it, and if the fence is dingling away, then obviously yes, your garden is on a slope. It's not that hard to work out. Thanks very much. If you want an install, www.climbingframeinstaller.co.uk.